The Moon Colony. Story by Nanette. Illustrations by Drew Rose. Chapter 1. The Farewell Party. Here's to Sam, Shara, and Adam. May they have the adventure of a lifetime. I rolled my eyes as my Uncle Ronnie raised his glass high and made the toast to my parents and me. About 40 people were standing in our living room, clapping and shouting, "Hear, hear!" They were having a good time. After all, it was a party. But I wasn't having any fun. I was lounging on the end of the couch with my chin propped in my hand, staring at nothing in particular, and the only thought in my mind was this: today is my last day on Earth. You're probably thinking that I'm going to die or something, but it's nothing like that. Today was my last day on Earth because tomorrow morning, bright and early, I would be going to the moon. My parents worked for the Global Outer Space Council, or GOSC for short. My mom was an engineer, and my dad was a geologist, and, lucky me, we were one of only 5 families in the world who were chosen to live in the new moon colony. There would be other people there, technicians and such, but only 5 real families. "Adam?" someone called. I looked up to see my neighbor, Ms. Perzana, standing in front of me with a concerned look on her face. "Are you all right?" she asked. I shrugged. "Sure, just peachy." "Well then, why aren't you outside with your friends?" "Why don't you mind your own business?" I thought. Then I felt bad because Ms. Perzana had always been nice to me. Last summer, when I was playing laser tag with my friends, I broke her window, and she didn't get mad. She just said, "Cut my grass and we'll call it even." I didn't mind because she had one of those new riding mowers made of fluid metal. They flow like mercury, curving around trees and then straightening out again. I was about to tell Ms. Perzana that I was tired and just wanted to sit quietly for a while when I noticed my mom walking toward us with a worried look on her face, too. "Is something wrong?" she asked. I didn't bother to answer. She knew how I felt about our trip tomorrow. It was Ms. Perzana who piped up and said, "I was just wondering why Adam wasn't outside with his friends." My mom bit her lip nervously because we'd had some major scenes about going to the moon, and I knew she didn't want to get into a fight in front of half the neighborhood. She glanced over her shoulder toward the French doors, where my friends were gathered outside on the deck. She had on a bright red dress, and her hair was done up nicely. Usually, I tell her when she looks especially good, but tonight I hadn't said a word. "Don't you want to join your friends, Adam?" she asked. "Nope," I said, shaking my head firmly. "Why not?" How could I tell her that none of my friends understood how I felt? They all say they're going to miss me and stuff, but they think I should be excited about going to the moon. "Adam," they told me, "you're like one of those colonists who sailed across the ocean to settle new land." Yeah, well, that new land had trees and water and animals and, heck, that new land had air. The moon doesn't have any air, so every time I want to take a stroll outside, I'm going to have to slip into a spacesuit and strap on a helmet. That should put a damper on the old social life. "Look, there's Amy," my mom said, as she pointed toward the fireplace at my favorite cousin. "She said she's been looking for you all—" "I'm tired," I interrupted curtly, "so I think I'll hit the sack." With that, I rose and stalked out of the room without bothering to say goodbye to anyone. Why should I? I wouldn't be seeing them for 4 long years, and they probably wouldn't even remember me by the time we got back. My mom came into the hall and stood at the bottom of the stairs, watching as I made my way up to my bedroom. Right before I walked into my room, she called out, "Sweet dreams, Adam." "That chance," I muttered under my breath. I locked the door behind me and fell onto the bed face down in a pillow. I didn't want to see the bare room where nothing was left but my bed and a nightstand with a lamp. All my belongings had been packed away. Some would go with me to the moon, such as my favorite clothes and music holodiscs, but most would stay in storage while we were gone. The house was already rented out to a family with kids. They had a teenage boy about the same age as me who would be using this room for the next 4 years. I didn't like that, because I had been raised in this house, and my bedroom had always been my place, the one place in the world where I could kick off my shoes and be my
Sample complete. Ready to continue?